Alright, hello, this is Major Richie again for the second half of the speedrun. Or you can use these tutorials for casual play as well. Either way. Just to get through the game, I suppose. Okay. So this is the start of Chapter 10. This is right after the train crash of Chapter 9. So pick up these explosive arrows. And right here, this is only on normal difficulty. You have to wait here, I think it's 45 seconds. And you have to stand about right here to trigger it. And sort of the new way of doing this, you used to just stand there and wait for the cutscene to trigger. And 3 imps will spawn out of the sewer. So instead of just standing here, you can charge a ultimate technique, which will, the game, if you're in the right spot, the game will force Ryu forward a few steps. So you save like, 0.3 or something. It's just free time save. So just hold Y and stand here. Any minute now. See. I didn't even let go of Y, the game forced me over. Sure, skip that cutscene. Okay. Now this part here, these bats, you want to roll immediately to the door and hit X as fast as possible while rolling into the door. Or Ryu will want to target the bats and you won't be able to. You won't be able to leave that room until you kill all the bats because Ryu will just refuse to go through the door. Okay, this is just where you're supposed to go. Go down this way, just follow my route. We're trying to get the key to the insect room, or the insect key, and it's over here. There's a heal right here if you need it, and a save point. Great spirit. So this key, it's a tricky grab if you want to do it fast. Ryu is very weird with this ledge. It's better just to try to get to as close to the edge of this platform as you can. If you get too close though, he'll hop off. So 2 shimmies is fine. You can like kind of try to do it like this and hop up with 1 shimmy, but it's just more consistent if you go for the 2. Otherwise you'll tilt it too far, like like this, and he'll run over and you're just losing time. So it's best just to do the 2 and go up and get the key of the insect. Ryu will do that sometimes. If you jump and you press X, he'll do an on-landing attack. It's kind of annoying, so try to delay your input slightly. Roll into the door, mash X. Okay, this little tech here. I'll show 2 ways to fight this boss. The ultimate way can be kind of tricky for someone who's never seen this or done this before, so I'll do the normal way first, which is still pretty quick, and then the optimal way. Actually, I won't be able to do these worms very well in the emulator. Yeah, I can't because the frame drops on MU. I forgot to make a save state before that, unfortunately. So this is a pretty bad showcase of the worm. I mean, I'll link other tutorials in the description below that will show those in depth. I mean, starting out, it's fine just to wait for him to do the sweep attack and do Gleaming Blade. Like that. But the idea is to charge an essence technique from a cold charge, and cold charge being without essence. You charge an ET, do an ET, and while he's still resting there after you attack him with the ET charge, he goes straight into Gleaming Blade and it does massive damage. You can watch any of the other speedruns on speedrun.com and it will show that. Everybody does it, so yeah. Sorry, I forgot to save, and also the emulator. It's not too good with the worms. I think it's just all the electricity and whatnot. So we're getting key items. You have to get this money. It's like 5K. It's part of the route. So we're sort of just racing through these caverns here to get the key items and the items that we need. Here's another heal if you need it. It's right in your path. These imps just, they'll hit you sometimes. This is a mandatory pickup. Spear of the Devils, you need this. Don't pop it now. I'll show you when to do the optimal inventories to where you're not doing too many inventory visits. Here we're getting another key item. Can't really explain the movement here. It's just, you know, you'll just get better as you do it more often. Chapters 10, 12, and 14 are really, they take a long time to master as far as movement. Here we are at the double worms. I'll make a save state here. To see if I can actually showcase what I was talking about earlier with the first worm. Because now we're fighting two worms instead of just one. Using the same technique, except it was two. That's what it looks like. He'll spit you sometimes. It's usually just two. Sometimes you get a double connect and it's kind of lucky. Use a heal if you need it, which I do. Most important thing to do is starting out is being able to do an on landing gleam like jumping over them when they do that sweep attack, and then on land and gleam. It just does massive damage. Get some arrow attacks in as you need them. Alright. This chest is optional. It has a heal in it. If you want it, take it. If you used one and you only have 3 great spirits, remember I said earlier in part 1 that you need a minimum of 4 great spirit elixirs if you have no small elixirs. So keep that in mind. This is a mandatory pickup, great double elixir. Here's another small if you need it. It's also optional. Just ignore these enemies. We're just grabbing the key item and racing to the boss of this chapter. Grab these incendiary shuriken. We'll need them later. Here's another, that's a heal there if you need it. It's kind of hard to get because the imps will attack you. Mash pretty hard here. You don't want to fall down. You'll lose like 12 seconds. Don't just sort of casually mash. Try to do a decent mash. Climb back up. Roll in here. Alright, over here is another heal. If needed. Alright. What I like to do here is fill up on smalls. Not everybody does this. This is just me. I like to play it safe. So yeah. Remember, this is just a beginner's route. I'm not going to be showing all the optimal stuff. It'd be like a 10-hour video. You'll learn that as you go along, and you know, once you start, you know, running this game, you know, people, you know, will be giving you advice and whatnot along the way. This is just to get you started, get familiar with the route. Careful with these imps. Nothing special here. Hit the light. So we have another menu we have to do, and it's a big one. It's the biggest one in the run. Here's another heal, by the way. Like I said before, don't use your smalls too much. Because this game is very generous, or the route has a lot of great spirit elixirs. So use great spirit elixirs. Even if your health, you know, you're scared and it's like 60%, use a great spirit, because there'll be another one down the path, so don't be afraid to use those. The game is very generous with them. Grab this. This is a key item. You have to pick it up. and save here. This is one of those required saves. It's like with these, this is just an area you have to practice. This fight's pretty difficult. A lot of adaptation to it, and yeah. So when you get into this room, you can kind of do the big menu wherever you want. It doesn't really matter as long as you do it in the same spot every time. So, Spear of the Devils, Jewel of the Demon Seal, Inazuma, move over one page, Fire Wheels, move over another, Incendiary, one more, and Lunar. That's the big menu in the game. That's the biggest one. Now we got Pazu. So the main attack, let me get rid of these guys. This emulator cannot handle Alright. Wow, red. That's very generous. Okay. So the main attack you want to be doing here is forward YYX. That attack. That's the good one. Forward YYX into an incendiary throw. And I'll show the fight here. But that's the main combo you want to be familiar with. Pop Fire Wheels. Sometimes he'll jump, that's fine. Sorry, I just can't do this fight very well on Emu. Pop Fire Wheels. He's dead. Okay. I won't be able to showcase that fight very well on emulator. I apologize for that, but that's the general idea, is to do a forward YYX into any incendiary throw. And when he puts his head down, pop your Fire Wheels and can continue that combo. It's forward YYX into incendiary throw, and you just repeat and adapt to whatever pattern you get. Just practice the hell out of that fight. It's he can really troll you pretty hard sometimes. I got a pretty decent pattern that time. He only jumped over once. Sometimes he'll jump back and forth. He'll jump over to the next part of the room, and then he'll immediately jump back, and then he'll jump up on the perch. You know, you just... yeah. But anyway, let's move on to Chapter 11. That's Chapter 10. Chapter 11, straightforward. I'm not going to show... like, I'm just going to show the Dive of Death. Just because Chapter 11 is just so freaking boring. I'll just show you the speedrun way. And then you'll have enough heals, and it's not hard to pull off. It's just swimming. But I would make a save. There's a heal there if you need it. This one's a map, you don't need that. Okay, get this chest, it's a key item. Man, the frames here are god awful. Swim pretty low to the ground because these fish will bite you. And if your health is low enough, they'll kill you. They'll just kill you. Full bar, they shouldn't, but if you're like 70%, you run that risk. And they take some air as well. Grab this. You need that to be able to enter the combination in this door. If you don't have that, Ryu just, like, it'll say you can't see underwater or whatever. Something stupid. That's 0971. So as we're swimming here, I try to keep a clean swim. Like, don't like just, you know, go complete autopilot. Try to swim somewhat decent. Don't touch the, try not to touch the edges too much. Don't rub on anything. And the final boss for this chapter is Doku. It's our first encounter with Doku. We saw him at the end of chapter 2. So right here is another heal, if needed. And another save point if needed. Can't remember what this is. It's just the life of the gods. You don't pick up any of these. I just pick it up just to clean up my inventory. So this is the trickiest part of the swim. Just try to go through this labyrinth as quick as possible. Go up for air first. Remember that. And then go back under. Watch my inputs. I can't really explain good swimming, but if you just watch my inputs, you know, maybe that'll help a little bit. I do adjust my camera quite a bit with a fixed camera. I think that helps a little bit, I believe. But you don't want to get caught in here for too long, or you'll end up having to use 2 of the grates and not have enough for the dive of death. So be aware of that. So as I go around corners, I like to tap the center of the camera, and I believe that makes Ryu turn a bit faster. So this is where you're supposed to start losing health, is on that second to last turn. And you go up, heal about right here. Look and see how many heals you got. If you got 4, you're good. If you got 3, but you have at least 2 or 3 smalls, you're still fine. You just won't have any heals for Doku, but there's a save point right before Doku, so. Not everybody does this room this way. Godfather Dictator doesn't. He goes for the Inazuma thing, grabs all the heals. But I prefer this way because I think it's a little bit faster. Sorry about the quality of the game. It's just the emulator just isn't quite there yet. It works good for the most part, but can't be used for runs or anything. Man, these security bots are really having a time with me. So always remember to go up for air here. Go back down. Really not much to talk about here. It's just swimming. Just don't touch the edges too much. I like to go in between these two pillars. I believe it's a little bit faster than going down from the bottom. This is where you start losing health. Now pay attention. If you drown, Ryu doesn't. You don't get a talisman pop. You'll just die. So pay attention to your health. I've lost a few runs to this dive of death just because I didn't pay attention. Another thing too to pay attention or to look out for is there's an elevator there that you can ride up on again. If you're low on hills, for whatever reason, like you only had 3 at the start of the dive, you can go off that elevator and refill your air gauge and come back down and you'll be fine. You'll just lose like 20 seconds. You don't have to wait for that health bar to be almost completely depleted, but about halfway past that last Nimpo gauge is around the spot to use it. Okay, so make a save here for sure. This boss you're going to need to practice a little bit. It's not terribly hard, but he's difficult enough. So right up the elevator. Here's Doku 1. Our first encounter. Try to mash out of that and heal. Okay, that's the fight. You pretty much use the same combo you use with Pazu. It's forward YYX. It's the bread and butter combo. And we'll be using that same combo with the dragon in chapter 12. That's chapter 11. Pretty much just swimming in that final boss. Pretty boring chapter, and chapter I really don't like. It really kills the flow of the game. I guess they were just experimenting with swimming or something, and it's the other games with swimming. I don't know. Like every game had to have swimming in it. It's just kind of weird. Or lava. You had to have a lava level, which this next level has lava in it, so it's just what it is. Yeah, it's a boring chapter. After you've done 100 runs of this game, you know, it gets pretty dull. But anyway, this is chapter 12, so switch back to Dragon Sword. So this is our next sequence break. So this room here is supposed to do this, you know, fairly difficult puzzle, I guess, and then activate the switch and all that stuff, but you can just do this instead. You see this dark mark here? Or this little chipped area? Jump from here. And you can jump right up there. So, there's a bit of a... You'd probably have to slow down the video to see this. But there's a sort of a visual cue with Ryu's feet. Or his legs. You can see him sort of stumble a little bit. It looks like he's about to fall. So right when he's about to fall, you jump. You jump and you do the BY. I like that. You'd have to slow down the video to see it. I messed it up. Well, that's an example of messing it up, but that's a good example right there. See, it looked like he stumbled a little bit, about to fall. That's when he jumped. That's another heal here. Like I said, this game's very generous with spirit elixirs. So here, just jump forward and BY. And then jump back and roll. There you go. That's it. You skip the puzzle. One of the easier skips in the game. Yeah, you know, I'll take that back. That's actually... that can be a pretty tough skip. I remember when I was first trying to learn it, it was really hard to be consistent in it. So pick up this hill. See, we already have 2 now. Like I said, it's just very generous. Now I highly, highly, highly recommend to save here. Chapter 12, movement-wise, it is the hardest in the whole game. The fights, you know, you only fight 3 things. You fight Jotunfrau, which is the Ice Slam boss. And then you have the Fire Worm, the fire version of the electric. And then you fight the dragon, that's it. The big challenge of this chapter is movement. I'm not going to show some of the advanced movement. You know, I'll leave that to the other guide. This is just to get through the level clean. So I'll just be showcasing that. Just the route. Here's another hill. Gotta pick that up. And you'll see why we're picking up all those hills. Not only for the, you know, just for safety, but we need them for the dragon. Switch back to the dragon sword immediately. We have another hill coming up. This will be our 4th hill. See, we already got 4. Everyone moves through these caverns a little bit different. I still struggle with these caverns. It's the hardest thing to do in the game, in my opinion. Jump down. Back around. There's a little cavern skip here. It's pretty difficult to do. Let me see if I can try to do it. Nah. You can just watch one of the other runners or even ask them in the Discord and they'll tell you. It's not really necessary to get a good time with it. You can get a really good time with that, that's good. That's just if you're going for like, you know, sub 138 or something. So we roll into this. This is the skip here. Normally you go up here, you have to climb this thing and shimmy over, but we skip this. So what you do is wait for this team. Jump, BY, and that's it. You have to pick up these ores, they're required for the pot. Just jump straight into the lava. Okay, this is a difficult skip. If you can't get this, there's no shame in just jumping on this platform, going up here, and then I don't know why it didn't swallow. And then get to the pot from there. And the game just cannot process those bad deaths. But the new and optimal way of doing this, roll here. I like to do it slow. Some guys, or everyone else, they do it immediately, but the way I like to do it, go right here, and BY, and that's it. Looks hard, and it's kind of hard at first, but just watch the inputs and you'll get it. Some practice, of course. Put all the ore in. But the main thing is just to get the ore in the pot and get the key item and get the Jotunfrau, which is the next boss coming up. And then also too, I'll show this hidden stash. Don't do that. So you go over here, get this seesaw away. And then this is 5k, I believe. What's the else? Yeah, 5k. So if you're desperate for money, you want to refill on potions, grab that chest by all means. So this is another skip. Fairly difficult. If you can't do it, just do it the normal way. You know, hit the button, go all the way around, or whatever. I'll show you two ways, actually. Let me make a save. So this is the optimal strat. Fairly difficult to do. I messed it up because my camera was wrong. It's annoying. I mess it up sometimes. Go through here. Didn't like that. That's not very clean, but that's the idea. So the way it's supposed to look, the clean way. Just like that. Rolling through that steam like that takes a little bit of practice. It's not terribly hard, but it takes a little practice to do. But here is the more... This is the easier way of doing this. And then you don't have to touch the lava either. So... You go over here, hit the button. And you can go up on that little cliff over there. Careful not to get hit by this guy. Sometimes Ryu will do that. So just jump up here like this, go around, and proceed like so. I'm not used to doing that route, so naturally I mess it up. Heal if needed. Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. That's an important one to get down. You can lose a lot of time if you don't get that. So that jump there, if you hop like pretty close to it, at a certain angle, he'll hop up instead of just cling. Alright. Get that cogwheel. I wouldn't say you need a save here, but I would make one. Especially if you're not too comfortable fighting Jotunfrau. So here, change to Lunar. I healed before, and I shouldn't have done that. If you do need to heal, wait until this point so you don't double menu. Heal and then equip your Lunar. Skip the cutscene. Like that. That's a pretty good pattern. Switch back to Dragon Sword and pick up the Eye of Ice. This chest in the middle of this is a great spirit elixir if needed. Let me see if I can get it this time. Yeah, that's hard to do. It's called the cavern skip. You can just, if you're serious about running this game, you can ask one of the other runners. This emulator, just this here, you can just jump in the lava, that's fine. If you want to take a second and avoid lava hit, you can kind of, this is a tricky one, like if you aim it about right here where I'm standing and then jump, I did it wrong. Yeah, if you do it right, Ryu will land on that wall and wall run there and it'll avoid the lava altogether, but it's not really worth messing with too much. I would use a heal here if you're not full health. If you're under 80%, oh man, get used to Ryu and wall clings. Pick up this devil, it's required. Yeah, the frame drops are just, they're interrupting me. I don't think the flying swallow will kill him here. So you can just kill him like that. You don't have to worry about the ET into Gleam. It's a fairly tricky timing, so just you can just do on landing Gleaming Blade. And that's fine. Here, I'm not sure how much time you have to get through that fire. Probably like 10 seconds. So. There was a save area here. Yeah. I would save here before this fight. That's probably more important than the Jotun for a fight. You'll have to practice this a little bit. It's not terribly hard, but just to get a feel for the weird patterns, you know, I would do it a few dozen times till you're comfortable. Here, it switched back to Lunar. Here's why we pick up those heals. Now we're gonna get some major frame droppage, but hopefully I can showcase what how this fight's supposed to look. Sorry if you can hear my AC in the background. There's not much I can do about it. So right here we just use the forward YYX. Or forward. Heal. Okay. When he's like kneeled down the whole time like that, that's a really good pattern. Happens fairly often. I'd say about 35% of the time you're going to get that. All the other times you're going to get some shock waves and fireball spits. But yeah, starting out, I would use this right now. We skipped that now, but I'd recommend using that if you're new. It'll make the other bosses make it a bit more relaxed. And I'll showcase what combo I was doing with the dragon. I forgot to show it. So you do a forward Y, Y, X, then you do an extra Y at the end to get a little bit more damage in the air before you land back into the pit. So a good time for this chapter, I forgot to say what good time. Who cares about chapter 11? But chapter 12, a good time is I'd say starting out under 9 minutes, and then once you get better, under 8, and then a good optimized time is a 7:20 and below. IGT, that is. The chapter screen. So chapter 13. So this chapter we're pretty much racing to fight Awakened Alma. Oh, that combo, by the way, I was using these guys are annoying. Are they just gonna keep spawning? Very nice. They're just gonna keep spawning, I guess. Man, fuck off. Okay, I'll just show you the next room. Jesus. Ignore these guys. Okay, the combo I was doing with Smogan, or the dragon, is forward Y, Y, X. Just mimic my inputs. That's the combo. Just wanted to show that real quick. Oh, and this is chapter 13, by the way, so I gotta change the number. Or it's gonna bother me. Okay. So here it's just movement. I mean, not much to do. Just move to the level as quickly as possible. This is just a huge... You're just backtracking all the way back to back to Tyron. Pick up these incendiaries if you want them.
Where is beer?
Actually, pick up those incendiaries. Like, that's a mandatory pickup if you want to do the save strat for the second half of Emperor. But I'll explain that later. Moving here is fairly tricky, but no, it's not that bad. Here I would try to kill most of these bats. You don't want to take too much damage going up this thing. Ugh. That's the last time we encounter bats, thank God. Alright, so just roll, jump, roll, jump, roll, jump. Not much to talk about. This became a fairly long tutorial. It's 3 hours now. It's crazy. I'm just sort of going through the route. Didn't really explain everything. I can't imagine. There's probably 6 hours if I tried to explain every little detail. Don't pick up that chest. It's just smoke bombs. I highly recommend doing like a 100% run or something. I did that. No death run, you know, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, you don't have to get that heal. It's just an optional one. I picked up that heal for a long time. Only, you know, once I think I got a 145 or a 144 RTA, I stopped picking that heal up. But yeah. Yeah, if you remember all those tablets you picked up, this is where they go. And hopefully you didn't forget one, because if you forgot one, it's over. Skip that cutscene. So here's a big decision point. So our Nempo Inazuma is at level 2, which is good enough. That's the optimal Inazuma. You can push to level 3, and I believe it insta-kills the red dinos. It's been so long since I did level 3 Inazuma. I think I dropped it after I got a sub 150. I can't remember. But there's some perks to level 3 Inazuma. But level 2 is just overall, it's just faster. Because you get to a point after, I think the 3rd level of the tower, where the laser crabs, well, it doesn't matter how high your Inazuma is, they're always going to take 2 Inazuma hits. So the casting time with level 2 Inazuma is shorter than 3. So if it takes 2 Inazuma hits with the laser crabs, you stick with the second one. That's the optimal way. But level 3 is you save a bit of Nempo there, and it's a bit safer that way. So you have some leftover Nempo. But it's slower because you have to do all the Marbus waves with the imps. And they only you can kill them with probably, I think a level 1 Inazuma will kill them. So it's up to you. And the way to put up to level 3 is to grab the Jewel of the Demon Seal. And then you upgrade to level 3 if you want. I guess I didn't pick up that heal earlier. Here's a shop if needed. This is an interesting little Easter egg, I suppose. This one gives you health, I believe. Oh, this is Nempo. Well, I don't have any more arrows. This one gives you health. I guess. I think you have to stand like behind this rock for some reason. Yeah, that gives you yellow. And that gives you blue. Yeah. Just weird little Easter egg, I guess. Right here, make a save. Practice the Alma fight. I'll show the Alma fight a few times because it's a fairly technical fight. You have to use 2 different moves, which is Flying Crane, which is not a full turn of the left stick. then in the gleam. But I'll show that in a minute. Yeah, be sure to make that save though. I'm gonna make a save state because I'm gonna show this a few times. So we start off with a haste rate slash. You jump right at her on landing and go for that, and that should knock her. She does this. It's kind of bad RNG. Really bad RNG. And just flying swallow and hope she gets knocked. Match start. Heal. That's an example of a knock. Very annoying fight. She's a run killer. Let's see if I can get a good one here. She probably won't give me a good one, but we'll see. Yeah, she's just gonna do this. Let's try it again. I want to showcase the haste rate slash. She's just being stupid. I don't know why they didn't knock her, but hey. This boss is just unbelievable. So that's the fight. The moves I did are flying swallow, the re-knocker. After you do the gleam, after she's down fully, like fully crippled over, you do a gleaming blade. And then when she gets back up, try to roll into her and do a flying crane. And that'll re-knock her, 65-70% of the time. And the objective is to keep doing that over and over. Like, you knock her in the beginning with a haste rate slash, which I wasn't able to showcase because she kept freaking getting up. So basically, you go over here, haste rate slash, that knocks her, and then you do a flying swallow, and then to gleam, and then Flying Crane, go into Reknocker, Flying Swallow, Gleaming Blade. Then she'll get back up, go for Flying Crane, try to Reknocker again. It's kind of similar to the Alma 1 loop, but without Nimbo. So yeah. Go watch some other speedruns. You can watch my run. I don't remember if I get a good Alma on that or not, but yeah, I'd watch some runs. Don't want to spend like an hour on one boss. Just, yeah. Right, here's another heal if needed. So the pill bugs. Let's show this. Oh, by the way, when you equip Lunar to break that wall, equip Inazuma at the same time so you don't double menu like I did. Do this puzzle. Inazuma. Pretty much just pop Inazuma and hope for reds. We got one. Very lucky. Get a couple of UTs in to get some extra cash. If you want to get more heals for the tower. And also filling up on devils. It wasn't the best spot to do that, but I don't know how that missed everybody, but it did. Those pill bugs sort of mimic what I did there. Wall attacks and UTs and however many Inazumas you can get. Even if you get lucky with reds, like insanely lucky, like you get a drop every wave or some crazy crap like that, I would at least get 2 UTs in it just for the money. So yeah, that's chapter 3. Or chapter 13. Not much to it, just movement in the beginning, awakened Alma, and then pill bugs. This is also a reset heavy chapter solely because of awakened Alma. She can just completely nuke your run. Yeah, she's just a huge RNG checkpoint in this game. One of probably 4 big RNG checkpoints. There's many RNG things in this game. I mean, every fight, is pretty much RNG. You can go bad, but the big ones are definitely Alma 1 in chapter 7, awakened Alma, Pazu. I think he's pretty underrated as far as a run killer, and then Marvis in chapter 15. The strat we do requires him to do a dive, and if he doesn't do that dive, he can just waste minutes on you. So be aware of that. This game's got a lot of RNG, so yeah. Not always gonna work out. Chapter 14. Chapter 14 short. Very movement heavy chapter. With a fairly difficult boss at the end. I'll show you a way to play him safe. I think that's the only way I'll show it. I used to fight this boss toe to toe, but after so many deaths to him, losing runs, I just went back to the save strat, so I'll just showcase that. If you want to see him fought toe to toe, you can just watch Godfather the Dictator or Fall Centurion or Loner Hero. I always fought this guy safe. So right here, very important to note, pick up this statue. You do not want to forget this statue. I have forgotten this statue in runs, and it sucks. It makes you not want to run this game ever again. Man, I had like a mini heart attack and thought I forgot to record. Man, if I forgot to record, I probably wouldn't even finish this. Okay. Equip True Dragon Sword. Take note, there is a heal here. I'd recommend picking that up. And then make a save here. This is one of those levels that requires a lot of practice. I mean, all levels require some form of practice, but this one is like Jack, very, very hard to get down. So here, just spam Inazuma. Just keep casting it. Like, you don't have to wait. Hope for a red. If you don't get a red drop, you can do one of two things. You can either, because you only get 3 Nampo and there's 4 waves. So if you hit the 4th wave, there's no reds. You got unlucky. Pop up Elixir of the Devil Way, which is fine. Get this key, and then we make a trip to the shop. This is our last shop visit, so make sure you get what you want. So I have a lot of money here because, you know, I was going through the game and I was doing a lot of UTs on enemies, you know, showing off stuff. Generally, about right here, you have between, if you're unlucky, you probably have around 6k, but usually you should have around, optimally have around 10 to 12k. And if you got a lot of money for pill bugs, you could land around 15 maybe. But the main thing to buy is fill up on devils. There are 2 strats for the Emperor boss, the 2nd phase. If you do the 2nd phase, you have to buy arrows here, which I'll buy just for the sake of showing off that boss. If you have enough for Armor of the Sun, I would buy it. Doesn't hurt to have that extra damage, and also too, you can do the 2 cycle on the 3rd Hydra and then fill up on smalls. But that's like in a perfect world where you have a ton of heals and, you know, which, you know, you don't have enough for all that normally. So just equip the, if you got the armlet, equip the Armor of the Sun immediately. So if you're not familiar with how to optimally move through Ghostfish, the sort of casual way is to do this. Air Destruction Slash. This is the easy way. And this is the way I kind of would recommend starting out. Just so you're getting runs in, not having to worry about one section too much. And the optimal way is this. On landing jumps. They cannot get you when you're on landing jumps. Or when you're on landing jumping. This next part, in my honest opinion, is the trickiest part as far as movement. Getting through this part clean is extremely satisfying because it's so hard. Go through here. That's pretty decent. But yeah, that's the idea. Sorry I'm losing so many frames with this emulator, but that's what it's supposed to look like. Don't forget to door skip. Always remember to do that. All landing jumping. All landing jumping and moving your camera at the same time is a really hard skill to develop. It'll take a lot of practice. I'll still mess it up. This is... Don't be afraid to do some air destruction flashes through this part because... it's difficult. Here, on landing jumps. If you're not full health here, heal. If you are under 85% of your health bar, you gotta pop a heal because the next boss can just nuke your health bar. So make a save here. Now I'm gonna make a save. So the idea behind this boss, to play him safely, is to move away from him, create distance, and have him on the very edge of the camera. And it'll bait him to do a shoulder attack or a shoulder charge. And then you wind path into him and do an on-landing gleaming blade. Sounds complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. So, keep him at the edge. He'll do it. Move away from him. If you're unlucky, he'll do that 5-string flurry. It's as easy as that. Keep your distance. Don't try to fight him toe to toe. It just doesn't work out sometimes. And he can kill you pretty fast. You do not want to lose your talisman here. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever to lose your talisman here, but you really want to hold on to your talisman till the end, till Fiend Mirai, because Fiend Mirai is a cheap boss, and he can take a talisman pretty quick. He's an extremely cheap boss. And unfortunately, he's at the end of the game. There's really no point, at no point in this game you're safe. All the way up here is the health. I wouldn't recommend going all the way up here and getting this unless you really, really need it. But it's up there. I would make a save here. Listen, this chapter's huge. I would practice this chapter a lot. I'm full on these. If you don't have 3 pick up the devil here. Be aware that laser crab will get you sometimes. It's just what it is. You are these guys. Very little wiggle room with ghost fish. They'll just if none really. They just an unforgiving enemy. All right. And I forgot to change the chapter. Okay. So here we're just spamming Inazuma. Just spam it. Just let it rip. This is what we saved all the Nimpo for. Hold A, mash A. Pop it. Another one. And wait for all three to spawn before you pop another one. And make sure they're all in range. If you didn't get any reds, you're unlucky. Pop a great devil. Stand right here and wait. If you're unlucky, these guys will just be dumb and run around like this. That didn't hit anybody. If you see a red drop, get it. Even if it's kind of out of your way, get it. Because you just need them. There's two ways to go up these stairs. You can do air destruction slash, and you'll be perfectly fine from the ghost fish. The optimal way is do on-landing jumps up the stairs. I like to kill the fish at the door like that, just to see if I can get some extra reds. Not much to talk about, just spamming Inazuma pretty much. I'll do air destruction slash on this floor just to demonstrate. Oh man. The game's not going to allow me to do it because I just can't see. But this is, it may not look safe, but this is the safest way. I got unlucky here and get anybody. Remember not to hit things more than you need to, or it'll delay their death animation. I forgot that goes through your guard. That's fine. Got a red there. Make sure to pick that up. Not much to these floors, just spamming Inazuma. Hoping you get reds, pretty much. Wow, 2 reds. That's extremely lucky. I would recommend, I see people, they go straight to the portal. I would just pick this up. And there's also a heal here if you want it. And save here before the Marbus Gauntlet. Just spam Inazuma again. This next boss you can 2-cycle. You really need the armor of the sun for this. I'll try to showcase it. Once and for all. I'm a little rusty. That's a good first half. I messed up. That's fine. Don't worry if you fail the 2-cycle. It's not that big a deal. Just that first half was perfect, but you try to do that same method with the second half. I just failed it. I absorbed one of the essence. If you absorb an essence, it's over. You won't be able to get it. Here, refill. Open Crow, we fought him the same way as before. Nothing different. He just has more health.
How do you like this?
Forward YYX. Alright, this is the Marbus glitch. This is one of 2 boss glitches, because recently, but 10 months ago we found the Emperor 2 one-shot. So it's 2 boss glitches. So what you do is you pop your Inazuma right as Marbus dives into the ground, and you do this combo over and over. You can either do this combo, or you can do this combo, which is a riskier combo because it's easy to drop this combo. But it saves, I believe, 3 seconds. It could be a bit more, but you just have a lot more buttons. You have to hit that B, and you can drop it pretty easily. So I just recommend this one's a lot more forgiving. You just mash X and hit Y, and you got it. You just gotta hold that combo. Hopefully he dives immediately here.
That's it.
Dives, I mean, sorry. If he spawns in, just do that combo. Marbus. This boss can either be a blowover, you know, he can dive immediately, or he'll spawn like 10 imps and kill your run. So here, switch back to fire wheels. I'll just be showcasing the one shot just because I don't know how to do the safe way anymore, or the old way. So I'll just showcase the one shot a handful of times, which is not hard to do. It's really easy to do. If you want to see the older way, just you can check out a different tutorial. There are many, many, many others, and just watching other people's runs. So Emperor 1, you just gleam blade, and dodge the lasers. Try to destroy the chest first. Cutscene. Jump. Make sure you got arrows equipped. You're at full health, which is good. Okay. And then we do the one shot. And that's it. I'll show that a few times. Right before that last stomp, shoot the arrow. And stand exactly where I'm standing. You'll get it every time. The only time you'll miss it is on a good run, unfortunately. practice, practice, practice. I would highly recommend getting this emulator. You have to. I would go into the Discord and ask for it. I'm not gonna link anything as far as this emulator. I'm not sure. You know, that's fine or not. Just go on to the Discord. Somebody will hook you up with it. It's really good for practicing this in particular. That's an example of me missing. Oh dang. I reset the game on accident. Okay, that's fine. Thankfully, I made some mistake. Okay, one more time. And that's over. GG. And that's chapter 15. Oh, I forgot to say what a good time for chapter 14 was. A good time for chapter 14 on the IGT is getting it under 5.5 minutes, and then working your way into 4 minutes, and then around 4:20 to 4:10ish is really good. Chapter 15, I would say 11:30 is a good place to start shooting for. Then getting under 11, that's when it starts getting a bit more difficult. And then landing around 10:30 is the really good time. So. Then after that, you know, you can start shooting for like under 10:20, 10:10. That's just getting everything right. I've only gotten under 10 minutes one time. Oh. Okay. Final chapter. Just a little platforming section and the final boss. And it's over. Feels good to finally do a guy for this. I tried like 3 times and I never finished. Because I tried to overdo it. I would make a save here for practice. Just practicing this platform section and the final boss. Just play it safe here, especially if you're on a good pace or just trying to finish a run. Don't try to do anything fancy. I thought I fell there for a minute. Just do it the intended way. Because these walls are just the way that these walls are. I don't know. It takes a while to get used to it. You can jump about right here. Don't jump too far to the right or the left or you fall into the pit. Alright, so make a save. So this is Fiend Mirai. The final hurdle of the game, and he's a hurdle. Play him safe, don't do anything risky. If he hits you hard, heal, heal, heal. This is why you want to keep the talisman to this last boss, because this boss just hits like a truck. I'll show you the ultimate safe way of fighting them. The safest way. If you get hit by 2 attacks like that, heal. See, he's just a bullshit boss. So I can just nuke your that's it. That is Ninja Gaiden Black. So the combo you're trying to do there is X, Y, Y, I think. Yeah. Or just look at my input display, look at it back, and just do that move over and over, along with, if you can work in some gleam blades in there, that's good. But as you're gleaming, he can still do damage to you, so it's a bit of a risky move. But yeah, those two combos, or those two moves, or Gleaming Blade and XY, Y is really good. So just stick to those 2 attacks. What else? What else is there to say? But yeah, I think I said this in chapter 8. Finish your runs. Don't reset in chapter 1. You know, especially you only finish like 1 or 2 runs. It's just not going to do you any good. It's going to stunt your growth. It's a long game. You know, it's a 2-hour game, so there's a lot of game there. A lot of, you know, if you keep resetting in chapters 1 through 6, you know, you're just missing out, improving on the last half of the game. It's a mistake I made when I first started speedrunning. Just speedrunning in general is resetting way too much in the early game. So, very important. Probably one of the most important things is to know that, to not reset a lot. I would say do 10 no resets of this game. Even if you die like 5 or 6 times throughout the run, it doesn't matter. Just keep going, finish the run. Have a chill mindset and just have fun with it. Like I said before, there's a lot of invisible improvements there, especially with movement. You know, you just don't. It's hard to notice at first, but it's there. Like improvements as far as quicker menus and doing the fights a bit better and the movement. You know, it helps a lot when you do your when you do those no resets. It also builds a bit more consistency with your runs. You know, trying to have a better average, all that's just very important. But yeah, what else is there? I think that's it. I mean, join the Discord if you're serious about it. You know, if you get a lot of questions, you know, just join the Speedrun Discord. Let me think. There's also speedrun.com. There's other guides on speedrun.com as well. Things that probably didn't cover that they probably covered in those other guides. This is just a guide to cover the route mostly and a few of the strats. And that's about it. Just wanted to showcase the run and have a guide of my own. And yeah, that's the game. That's the run. It's a hard run, but it's a rewarding one for sure. Definitely, it's a game I'm glad I picked for my first speed game. This is a good game overall. It's a good speed run and it's a good game. You know, just a good casually playing this game casually is a lot of fun too. It's one of those it's one of those hidden gems. See what my GT is. I'm gonna guess an hour and 30 something. Or hour 40 something. Oh, I'm way off. 2 hours 12. Man. Alright, that'll do it for the guide. Yep, any questions? You can join the Speedrun Discord through speedrun.com on the Ninja Gaiden Black page. There's always somebody in there. If you have a question, you know, you just ask, and you have like 2 or 3 runners answering it. It's a pretty active community. What else? Be sure to check JTB's videos. Digital T's made some guides too. Godfather Dictator has some stuff on his channel. Yeah, check those guys out. Because I just covered the basics. This is just a beginner route. So, yeah. Oh, trying to think of, make sure I'm not leaving anything out. I don't think I am. Yeah, guess not. Oh, the platforms. Like, the main platforms people play on is the Xbox 360 or Xbox One. You have to have one of those 2 consoles. You can play on OG Xbox, but it's the slowest version. Like, there's slowdowns. Like, if you do a UT, it kind of bogs down a bit. And this game being RTA, you know, it makes it a bit slower. So, optimally, you want to be playing on an Xbox 360 console or an Xbox One. So, one or the other, whichever you prefer. I personally really like the Xbox 360 pad the most for this game. It just feels the best. I played on Xbox One for the majority of playing this game, just because it didn't have a working 360 for a while. So, but it works just fine too. But what else? Yeah. If you watched this far, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. A lot longer than I thought it would be. I think it's almost 4 hours. It's pretty crazy. Just covering the basics, it's 4 hours. So it really goes to show how much tech there is in this game. It's a lot to take in. I would definitely, before speedrunning, I'd play this through a few times just casually. I think I said this before. Do the Fiend challenges, have fun with it, you know, and mess around with the enemies, and you know, try to 100% it, you know, stuff like that. It'll help you out in the long run. Just get a feel for the patterns of the enemies and stuff like that. Getting familiar with all the all the optional pickups and whatnot, and yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, all right, well, that'll do it, and yeah, have fun, peace, and good luck.